going back to like Humber College, because you and Nima share a very similar journey. I honestly was never aware that you could go to school to study comedy. Joe Rogan often says you can't do it, like it's not a thing, but you guys proven that it's possible. And I've kind of admire that you used it as a tool to like hone your skills. For me, I never had the privilege, never had the opportunity of going to film school, probably because I didn't have the right portfolio at the time. But I always wonder and always ask that question if I should have gone. I want to ask you, did it serve you? Did it make you become a better comic? Or do you feel the real world going to venues is what shaped you and defined who you are?
It's definitely a combination because it's sort of it okay, here's what I like about it.
Right.
They make you do everything.
Okay.
Right. So you audition to get into the program, and let's be real, they take probably everybody. Because how many people are actually applying to this program,
Right.
So and I saw ads for it. My buddy actually saw ads for it on the subway system. And I remember like I got off this argument with my dad, and he was like, "You're not dropping out of fucking college. No fucking way. Like you have to go to school."
Right.
And I'm like, and I was like, "Oh, I want to go to Second City, whatever. I want to get some training done, see what, know the ropes here."
Of course.
And then that same day, my buddy's like, "Oh, that's so weird. I just saw an ad for it at Humber." So then I applied, then I got in. And like I said, they teach you sort of the basics, and you realize that you're learning from people that are going to be your peers later on.
Right.
And you don't really notice that until you kind of leave the school, if you will. But so they kind of give you about just general rules and ideas of how comedy is done, etiquette in the scene, what's available to you to progress your career, what's not, like, this sort of thing. And like they make you do radio, they make you do sketch, film sketch, live sketch, improv, stand up, all this stuff, acting, voiceover work, just to see what you like and where your career could potentially go, and like how to hone your skills and put together a press kit or a portfolio, for example,
right.
how to get yourself booked, this whole thing. So, I mean, that part of it is amazing.
The logistics of the business, you mean? Like not so much the art form. They were
even the art form. They teach you how to structure a joke and like how comics usually do certain things and whatever. Okay. So like, which all information is great, but it doesn't matter if you're an expert. You're not an expert unless you're experienced at the same time. So
yeah,
that's where the scene itself shapes you in a different way, and you're not going to get the same level of comedian. Right. Who has done it from coast to coast over and over again, played to 5 people in a room in the middle of fucking nowhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like they have 2 different purposes, and both are necessary to shape you as a comic, I think.
Right. Yeah. So it can't be discounted completely, right? Like there is always knowledge to be gained. It wasn't like a waste of time or anything for you.
No, and that's exactly. And like people go, "Oh, you can't teach comedy or funny or you're not." It's like, sure, yeah. But it's almost just like there's just tricks of the trade and knowledge that you can gain, and like even learning the history of comedy and all those things add to just the knowledge of how you approach something.
Right.
And breaking down comedians and all that kind of stuff as a group, or even just being around guys who are professionals who listen to your material after and go, "Oh, you should go like this. You should try saying it this way or change it." Like just different ways to approach it is all part of it. And if I didn't go to Humber, I would not have done stand-up, and I would have never gotten into stand-up. So, I mean, just because of that, I have to be like, it was not a waste of time. And
wow, you're really attesting to that. Like it gave you that push.
Well, yeah, they made you do stand-up. Like in my head, I was like, I'm not doing stand-up. Public speaking, are you fucking crazy? Right? Like that was just never happening. So, but because you had no choice or you wouldn't fucking pass the class, you do it.
Right.
And you know what I mean? And that's why I ended up doing it.
And you developed that mindset, then you were conditioned, so like you were ready to go when it actually happened, when you needed to go. Like it gave you that encouragement to actually perform live. Yeah. Because the number one fear, as we know, is public speaking. So just it was highly admirable just to see you guys being able to go in front of a crowd. And obviously you guys are experienced, you guys have been doing it for many years, but it still takes balls, and I really do commend you guys on that. I still don't know how you do it, but I guess it's years of practice, and that's what makes you guys the professionals, right?